Dear friends, let me begin by thanking you for participating in this conference on reconciliation. How I wish I were there with you. It's such an important topic for us. It really is our mission in the society as defined by the most recent General Congregation. I'm grateful to you for taking time during this summer to reflect, to discern, to discuss, to pray, to how better to make the call for reconciliation real in your own communities and apostolates. That call to reconciliation, it didn't come out of thin air or simply because we were thinking so much. We actually took time to listen and to pray with each other at the General Congregation in 2016. We heard of Jesuits who were in various parts of the world dealing with either secularization or with fundamentalisms that really alienated people from God. We heard also of moving stories from Jesuits from Rwanda or Congo or elsewhere about civil strife that were tearing their nations apart, or about the reality of racism. I remember one Jesuit born in Aleppo, Syria, moved to tears at the story of planes from the Syrian government dropping barrel bombs on his hometown and the implications. We heard of Jesuits from island nations or nations that depend on agriculture, speaking of the ways in which our ecological devastation has impacted those who were poor. We were moved deeply in prayer, but also in our hearts, to hear that call to reconciliation. And we knew it to be the mission that we needed to take up as following the Lord, who is our reconciler. Of course, that's a broad reality when you think about it. Reconciliation with God, with others, and with creation is so vast. And so Father Sosa, our Superior General, asked us in last fall to begin a process, a widespread process, to think about how we could narrow that, focus it in ways that the whole society could work together. I was delighted that so many people in this province, hundreds of Jesuits, lay people, other religious, participated with enthusiasm to help us discern three preferences that should shape the works of all of our apostolates and our communities. That process has now come to a conclusion. We have received a mass of information from across the province. We've processed it with staff, with the Commission on Ministries, and with my own consultors. And we have three that we will send forward for Father General's discernment. The three already seem broad enough, but we hope will help our apostolates, our communities, focus more clearly. The first is really fostering the Ignatian spiritual tradition, and especially the ministry of the exercises, as a resource for reconciliation in the world, because the exercises are meant to have that impact on our relationship with God, with others, and the creation God so loves. Secondly, we're asked really to promote social, ecological equality and justice for all people, but especially for those who are disenfranchised or marginalized because of various forms of discrimination, be they racial, ethnic, gender, or other. And finally, we wish to become agents who can accompany others in a process of evangelization through listening, through dialogue, through bringing the riches of a church in a way that bind people together and bind them to God. Again, those are broad, and yet we will ask all of our apostolates as we move forward to make these central to the planning that we do for the future together. Again, I wish I were with you, but know that I will be praying for you. May this time of discussion, discernment, dialogue, and prayer be for all of you a rich time, both personally and then for your ministry as you go forward. Thank you.